Good afternoon, everyone from Thunder Valley. As Fox will welcome you to the Food City 500 here at Bristol. Rain is a bit of a threat here this afternoon. Not as big as it was a couple weeks ago at Texas, but it is still a threat. As a precaution, we originally were supposed to go green at about 12:18 p.m. Eastern, but we've moved the start time up to up 10 minutes. So this will be a bit of a rush pre-race show. So this will be one of the longer laps. This will be 25 laps today. Next Saturday night. Next Friday night we will be at Bowman Gray. Yeah, next Saturday night we're going to be at Bowman Gray. That's going to be 30 laps. So these are going to be some fairly long races here in the next couple weeks. Anyways, here is your starting lineup. Round number 1, we have the FedEx Express Toyota and the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Now, keep in mind, qualifying was canceled Saturday afternoon. Row 2, we have the Jimmy John Chevrolet and the Caterpillar Chevrolet. Row 3, we have the Stanley Tools Toyota and the Degree Deodorant Chevrolet. Row 4, we have the Blue Deuce Ford and the 78 car. Starting this afternoon from row 5, we have the Smithfield Foods Ford and the Lowe's Chevrolet. Beginning today from row 6, we have the Great Clip Chevrolet and the Target Chevrolet. Row 7 finds Stewart-Haas teammates, the Haas Nation Chevrolet and the Nature's Bakery Chevrolet. Keep in mind, practice qualifying was set by first practice speeds. That's the reason this field is like this. Row 7 is the Lilly Diabetes Ford and the DeWalt Toyota. This is row 8. Row 9 is the Sunny D Ford and the 55 car. While we look at the rest of the field, let's see if we can mic up the pole sitter here. Hey, Sports Center Cup Series, it's DW here up in the Fox booth. You got us? Yeah, 10-4. All right, man. Pole at Thunder Valley. Typical NASCAR fan favorite. How do you think this race is going to play out? They've stuck the same sticky down on the bottom and top of the racetracks that they did the Monster Energy guys, so that's really going to play into how these cars drive today. From the 2 sessions on Friday and the one early Saturday morning, do you think your car's adept to more the bottom or the top? Honestly, though, I think we're going to be more top here. We were more top. But for the pole, everybody right now is going to be predominantly trying to fight on the bottom. The middle lane's probably going to be the sucker hole that people are going to get put into a lot today. So it's either going to be bottom, but the top is there. It's just not going to be as strong as, say, later on when this track gets rubbered up more. But if rain comes, it's really going to shake things up because we won't have any rubber to race on. All right, 10-4. Have a good one down there. Thanks, CW. Now remember, as always, 34 cars, 25 laps. DW, Larry Mack, I think it's time, guys. All right, boys, bring them down here nice and slow. Oh, 2 short track rivals that had a bit of a heated rivalry towards the end of last year in the Monster Energy Series. Bring them down nice and clean. Ready? Green flag in the air. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go race. And in Thunder Valley, boys. Everybody right now is currently trying to keep their cars as tight to the bottom as they can. You know, you kind of saw the 24 was at a pretty big disadvantage on the top side. As he's going to get passed by 3 cars here as we complete the first lap. they really held up the top lane quite a bit. Here comes the 4. Already, things are sort of beginning to shake out. Out here, further into the pack, keep in mind this is a sort of, but if you look back here between the 20, 41, 10, 55, and all those guys, this does not look fun. See, the 10's already actually the first car up next to the wall. And the 24, 24 is continuing to have more problems here. He's down on the apron. I think I got a flat from it. Wall left or flat. Yep. Already here at Bristol, Jacob Tube's in trouble. On lap number 3, right rear flat, right rear flat, right rear flat. Steve, Mike, Jacob Tube got on the radio, said right rear flat, 31 got us. 31 we got loose. We're at the wall. Everybody balling at. This is obviously not what you want early on in a race here at Bristol. You see the 24 making the trip all the way down this long pit road. Definitely going to lose a lap here, or maybe more if things don't go the way they plan. 4 laps complete here at Bristol, and we talked earlier in the pre-show this morning that lightning and rain could be a pretty big factor here this afternoon, especially if you look to the radar. The weather here does not look good at all. All here, as you see, that's where this racetrack is at. It's going to be green. There's some green. There's a little bit of green. However, there's not a. It's a pretty huge shower of green. If you remember back to in the race day episode this morning, that green can be followed by some pretty heavy rain. So if it rains, it could be quite a while. Jacob Tube comes out in the pits, 2 laps down in 34th position. Last car in the lead lap. Definitely not. He did come into this race the points leader. I'm sure after today, just keep in mind this is by a pretty slim margin over good friend Dylan Merwin in the 4. I'm sure that'll change as we leave here to go race Saturday night. Race at Bowman Gray Saturday night, which will be definitely an entertaining afternoon. A night of racing. Qualifying in the afternoon, and the race that night. And just you said right there, the caution has come out. Raindrops in 4 here. Raindrops here. It looks fairly. It's the first shower. The shower shouldn't be, super big. Yellow flag is out, and wow, if you're Coco Garcia, you are very lucky. There's a rumor reports that there is a storm right upon this racetrack, and this could probably be a big one. And typically with the storms, there could be a high possibility that rain could be a pretty big factor, and lightning as well. In fact, just a few moments ago, then I'm getting word from local authorities that the National Weather Service did actually put out a warning just a few moments ago, saying that there is a severe thunderstorm warning put in place for the Bristol area. Which means NASCAR will bring this field down Now, Bristol and Bowling Gray, typically in situations, they bring the cars down, 1 through 16 on one side, 4, 8, 16, 17, 8 through the rest of the field on the outside. But here they put the lap cars on the outside. Speaking of the field, how about some biggest movers? Probably the biggest mover of the race so far as we bring this field to a stop. They're actually going to bring the jet dryers out. They have them stationed in the infield as a just in case. They've been stationed here for a good majority of the afternoon of the weekend. Supposedly, if rain needs to be, there will be a possibility if the rain stays around and they lose this track, there could be a pretty big possibility we could finish the rest of this race here on Monday. There's the 6 drivers that are 1 lap down. Keep in mind, Zox Moon has brought her car down pit road. She's currently sitting in 33rd, or she was sitting 31st when the red flag came out. We're going under red flag. The race was started at about 12:09 p.m. Eastern. We've been racing for about 8 laps, caution wreck free so far here at Bristol. We're going under a red flag here. The timer is at 38 minutes. If we get this race started later that this rain cleared and we get this race going later this afternoon, after this race over on FS1, there is going to be coverage of the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 from Bristol. That is expected to go off about out at 7 p.m. tonight on FX. But if this rain keeps up, which looks to be the case because NASCAR is currently ordering fans to try to get out of the way of the storm as much as they can and clear themselves out of the facilities as much as they can. Now keep in mind the 11 is your current leader here at Bristol, followed by Dylan Murway in second, Caleb Hoffman in third, Hot Wheels 44 in fourth, Apollo Moon in fifth, Robert Smith in sixth, WUB Network in seventh, Nate Sherman in eighth, Joseph Lombard in ninth, and Hunter Miller in 10th. Right now, the rain is currently hitting this track fairly hard. In fact, they don't even want our cameramen out there, so you're seeing a lot of live and still shots from around this racetrack. The only major thing that happened so far is the kind of poor start the 24 got. Having those right rear issues after getting in 31. Here's some radio communication between Hot Wheels 44 and Jacob Tube. Ready? All right, come on. Oh, in the wall. Watch it. Okay. Watch it. Got in the back end, buddy. Oh, he's going. All right, he's going. There may be some smoke, so watch him as much as you can, please. Watch him as much as you can. Watch him, see if he does anything. If he wigs out on us, watch him. See if he's going to start wigging out on us. Wow, not sure what happened there. He just got loose, smacked the wall. Damage should be fine on the car, but he didn't really hit enough to move or bend anything. Live back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, where the rain has come down even harder. And just a few moments ago, NASCAR has announced that we have lost this racetrack. And we are going to shift a doubleheader to tomorrow, which means they will be running the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on FX. And then the resumption of the Food City 500 will be going off at noon. I'm sorry, at 11 a. All right. We're getting word that they're moving the Busch race to after the Cup race. They're going to run the conclusion of the Cup race here at about 10:30 a.m. Eastern Mountain Time. Then afterwards, they're going to be running the Busch race at 2 p.m. 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So they're going to be running the Busch race here. Again, the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300. They're going to be running that at 2 p.m. Eastern over on FX. The conclusion of this race will also be seen on FX on Monday. Keep in mind, we have gotten 7 laps complete. Sports Center Cup Series is our current leader, and heavy rain showers have fallen in. And it's been raining for a pretty violent hour and a half or so. And only reason they're moving the rest of this race tomorrow, it's in the interest of the fans. They don't want the fans, they don't want the drivers, the teams, and everybody else out in the elements, and most importantly, the fans, because of the tragedy in 2012 with that fan at Pocono that got killed by that lightning strike during a pretty massive rainstorm. They usually take a lot of precautions. They don't. How this works is when you see a race get run on a certain date, they expect it to be run on a certain date, but sometimes weather gets in the way, like in this case, and it dumps a pretty severe amount of rain. So again, Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern will be the resumption of the Food City 500, and then Monday at then about an hour, about 30 minutes or so after the conclusion of the Cup race, you'll see the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300. This is the second time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year that a race has been affected by rain, whether it be rain out or delay. There was a delay earlier this year at ISM. Sorry, in the Xfinity Series. There on this side of life, there was a delay in attempting to get the pace laps going in California, which also led to the race being moved to Monday. But the weather for tomorrow, for Monday, if the fans stay around, say the least, it's going to be gorgeous. The rain's going to clear out. It's going to be pretty cloudy. The sun will come out later at about noontime. So we're going to see these cars really start getting slick. But with this rain gone, the VHT washed off, we can see some pretty interesting racing come Monday morning. Well, with the rain, that's pretty much going to be it from Bristol. Sports Center Cup Series is your current leader when the race is stopped.